Wade Elliott then ahead of Forest Green away. Wade, seems a long time now since you played Charlton. It's almost a week. What's the extra day done for you in terms of allowing a bit more preparation?
It's given the players a little bit of downtime. They had the weekend. The whole club had the weekend pretty much, which was deserved. And then it's been a normal week, normal build-up, normal prep for the game.
And the win at Charlton, what does that do for you? Because it's one of the big places to go, and to get a result there. Obviously it's only 3 points at the end of the day on the table, but it must mean a little bit more than that psychologically.
Yeah, possibly. Did challenge the players before the game about our home form's been very good. Could we go and put down a little bit of a marker away from home? So, like you say, Cheltenham, I know Cheltenham's form would, from the outside, appear a little bit indifferent, but their home record's excellent. Like at home, they really are very good. So to go there and perform in the manner that we did should give the players belief in what we do, home or away.
Obviously, it's back-to-back away games, but with this being an all-Gloucestershire occasion, is this a little bit different?
No, it's still an away game. Still an away game, Paul.
You've not got to travel very far, though, have you?
No, but we're still going away. We'll have a good following. The players can sleep in their own beds. So yeah, I know what you mean, but we'll go away to Forest Green. The majority of their points that they've accumulated have been at home. We obviously went there recently, and it was a really tight game. So no, I think we're going there fully aware of what's to come.
Is it useful to have played them recently in the trophy? Obviously, both clubs would have probably tried to keep a little bit back, but both clubs might have learned a bit about each other as well.
I think it's useful in that some of our lads have been there and seen the environment, and they've got a little taste of what it's about and what it means to the fans. But I think Ian said in his press it'll be a different team and a different game, and I wouldn't disagree with that.
You had a brief spell at Forest Green as well. What does that do in terms of helping your knowledge of the club and what they're about and what's needed to go there and win?
Not much really, because the majority of the people there, there's still one or two people, but the majority of people are different. But I've got to say they were good to me. I know there's a keen rivalry between the fans, but at the time I'd left Bristol City and I needed someone to coach to finish my badges. Mike was the manager at the time, and he was really welcoming. Scotty Bartlett was there, who's the manager at Western now, and they were both good to me and let me continue my coaching hours. And yeah, it was a useful period for me.
You mentioned the keen rivalry. How much does that just sort of add to the occasion? Is there an extra buzz in terms of the training ground, and obviously that the fans will be well up for it as well?
Yeah, I think so. You have to factor it in. You can't ignore it. It's like I said. Listen, I know it's not. People look down their noses at it, and I know it's not the old firm, but if it's your club, this is your derby, and it's the most important derby. So it's incumbent on us as a staff and a group of players to go there and play with an intensity that befits a derby and produce a performance that would reflect the way our supporters would expect us to feel about it.
And actually it's two teams who want to play football as well, isn't it? So how much is that going to be a battle to be able to sort of get possession of the ball and then keep it and do something with it?
I think you're asking me about the tactical side of the game. I think they're a good side. They're well coached. They're expansive. They want to take the ball, but they do have the option to mix it up. They have a variety of forwards. So they've got quick ones who can go in behind. They've got big ones they can play up to. So tactically, it'll be an interesting game.
obviously, Alfie May got the winner for you at Charlton. How much is it about sort of managing his minutes at the moment so that you can get the best out of him, and when he is available, and just make sure basically that he can carry on delivering?
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much about managing his minutes, because in fairness to him, when he has had a niggle or he's had his time out of the team, he's worked really hard. So I think fitness, lungs and legs wise, he's in good nick. I think the more minutes he has and the more he plays, the sharper that it'll get, and I think you were seeing that before when he did turn his ankle against Shrewsbury. I think you were really starting to see Alfie at his brightest and sharpest. One thing that, no matter how many minutes he does or doesn't have, the one thing that you can't take out of him is that he can sniff out a chance and sniff out a goal, and usually if something falls from him in the box, he is reliable.
Injuries, how is the squad for this weekend?
No, it's good. Couple of little niggles that we'll just double check on today, but all good.
And in terms of what the weather's done to you, how has that affected your training? Presumably you've had to delay the odd day, have you? Is that about it?
No, not particularly. We trained on the 4G at Bishop's Cleeve yesterday, so we wanted to get a good long session in. So we didn't want to be waiting for the weather or anything else yesterday, so we planned that at the start of the week. And then we've delayed today. We're hoping to get on the grass later if it thaws a little bit. But if it doesn't, we'll head back up to Cleeve and we'll be prepped and ready for the game.
Thanks, Wade. Good luck.
Cheers, mate.
Wade, looking back at that spell you had at Forest Green, I think you played 90 minutes against Cheltenham, didn't you, in the Gloucestershire Senior Cup? Would that have been one of your... I know you still keep yourself very fit now, Wade, but would that have been one of your last sort of proper games as a professional footballer?
Yeah, I don't know how fit I was then, John, to be honest. Played well though. I was good. No, I went in and I was coaching. And yeah, I think it was a mixed bag of a team. And they asked me if I fancied a game, and I could never turn down a game. So I think I played right back. I think I made a good tackle on Matty Bauer, because when I was coaching at Stoke, Matty Bauer came on trial, and he remembered it and mentioned it to me. But yeah, it might have been one of my last games.
Good to finish with a win. I think it was 4-3 that day to you.
I think Forest Green we were 4-1 up or something, and then I must have flagged John. Because I think, did Billy Walters score a couple? Did he score a couple? Yeah, I think he scored a couple late. I just tired. Give me another few weeks and been fitter, and we'd have been seeing that. It wouldn't have been as harum-scarum.
So you were there when they were hoping to get into the Football League, when they're in the National League that season. They've had a promotion, they've had another promotion. Did you get a real sense there, even though that was 6 years ago now, of the ambition in the club? Because obviously they are aiming for the Championship. They want to go as far as they can.
Well, they were always explicit about the ambition. So the ambition was always they talked openly about trying to get to the Championship. So yeah, I didn't get too involved in that. I just enjoyed my... In fairness, there were some good people around the club at the time. There were some good players. So I was watching Kiefer Moore in the World Cup recently, and Ethan Pinnock in the Premier League, and so I enjoyed going in there. Did my coaching hours, joined in a few sessions to make up the numbers sometimes, and no, it was a good period.
I was going to ask you this last week, but I didn't get to chat to you before Charlton. But Harry Shooter, has got a lot of admirers from his performances at the World Cup. And I think he's been linked with all sorts of big moves to Premier League clubs and that sort of thing. But am I right in thinking you coached him at Stoke?
Yeah, we had Harry at Stoke. They signed Harry. I think he must have been about 17, just before I came in. He was part of the 18s, got to the Youth Cup semi-final. And he was part of that team that played against an unbelievable Man City side with Sancho and Foden, and but the Stoke team had people like Harry and Tyrese Campbell. It was a really good team itself. And then obviously Harry graduated to the 21s. And then he had a couple of loan spells that were really beneficial for him. And obviously came back and made his way in Stoke's first team. But he's really pleased to see him do well, because he's a great kid. He's been desperately unlucky with injuries. I'm just really pleased that he made it back in time to play in a World Cup final, because you would be devastated to miss that.
Yeah, just on Kiefer Moore, I think he was at times under Eddie Pennock, who was there before Mark Cooper was playing at centre half for Forest Green. And from your time there, would you have expected him to go on to do what he's done? Because he's done unbelievably well in his career, hasn't he, since getting that move to Ipswich?
He's done brilliantly. In terms of ability, I would have always said Keith was capable. I'm not sure he had the self-belief at the time to really. I think if you'd have asked him at that time, if you'd have told him what he'd gone to achieve, I'm not sure he would have believed it himself. But obviously he went to Ipswich, which would have been a big step up for him at the time. Did well, found he could play at the level, and he's just gone from strength to strength from there. So just goes to show you how important confidence and mentality can be to a footballer.
Will Ferry still working his way back from the nasty back injury. How close is he now?
Yeah, Will's on the grass. He's joined in a tiny little bit of the session this week, but it will be. He's not a million miles away, but it will be the nature of the injury. It's not one we'll take any chances with. So we'll follow the protocol to the letter with Will.
Taylor Perry, is he close?
He's in with us. He's been in with us the last 2 days. So he's still continuing his rehab at Wolves, but obviously we want to keep TP around it and a part of it. He's been a big part of what we've done. And we didn't want him to disappear for 3 or 4 weeks and come back in from the cold. So no, he's been back in for a couple of days just to stay a part of the group.
Just finding a way, it seemed like a long time ago now, but you did have a weekend off after Charlton. How was Matilda? I know you'll be thinking about Saturday now, but was it good?
It was, to be fair, John, a top draw. Yeah, could recommend it. It's really good. Good dance moves, some banging tunes. Yeah, no, it was a nice weekend off the back of the result.